okay? But do notice that there's no articles there, and very often in prepositional phrases there aren't articles. I think that this happens over time, and I think this is why you can say on the one hand, or you can say on one hand. But the really odd thing is, you can't say on other hand. That would be wrong. Yeah, but it's fine with or without in on the one hand, on one hand. And I think over time, prepositional phrases, very often we drop the article. Okay, in need of, not in a need of, not in the need of, but we do say a need for. And look at that, the preposition changes with countable need. With uncountable prepositional need, we are in need of assistance. We are in dire need of assistance. This dire collocates very well with need. It means terrible, awful need of assistance. So we need assistance really badly. Yeah, when you're in dire need of something, you really, really, really need it. So if you're in dire need of toilet paper, you better get down the shops now, otherwise you're going to be in trouble. Yeah, but if you're in dire need of food and water, yeah, you're in trouble, certainly. You better get that sorted as soon as possible. It's even more important than toilet paper. But dire, really serious situation, a dire situation, it's always negative. It's never positive. And so we were in dire need of assistance, or we had an awful need, a dire need for assistance. Yeah, there was a need for food and water. There was a need for. Yeah, so we do use a before need, but not in the prepositional phrase. And I want you to think about in love. Yeah, because, you know, you say they were in love. You don't say they were in a love or in the love, but you say he has a love of French poetry. She has a love of 17th century Italian literature, whatever. A love of, but in love. A need for, but in need. And yeah, we can use that adverbially. We can say we were in need and leave it at that. We don't have to say in need of. So there is a need for discipline in the classroom. There's an example. There's a need for discipline in the classroom. Of course there is. We need students to be quiet so we can teach them something. So at risk of, but we do say a risk of. So we were at risk of, I don't know, we were at risk of catching a terrible disease, or there was a risk of catching a terrible disease. Yeah, so at risk of and a risk of. The prepositional phrase doesn't have the article. And this is with the preposition at. Remember that with the top, the bottom,